The Denver Broncos just made a move that screams Sean Payton football. They've added a tough, system-ready player who could be suiting up against the Tennessee Titans in just a couple of weeks. While some Raiders are already celebrating preseason highlights like they've accomplished something, Denver's rookies are keeping their heads down, knowing the real fight begins when the regular season kicks off. That's the difference. That's the mindset of a team built for the long haul. But there's one concern. The Broncos are likely heading into the season without a key starter. Fullback Michael Burton, who logged nearly 20% of the team's offensive snaps last year, has been battling a hamstring injury all camp. He suited up in pads at times, but he hasn't been able to practice or get game reps. Denver hoped he'd be ready by now, but it's clear his status is in doubt. And here's the thing, Sean Payton is one of the last coaches in the NFL who still values a traditional fullback. Burton's absence left a hole that needed filling, and true to form, Denver turned to a player Payton knows and trusts. The Broncos have brought in a hard-nosed, versatile fullback with ties to his system, a guy ready to step in and carry the load. Meanwhile, Nate Adkins, who also filled that role at times, is expected to start the season on injured reserve. That means the Broncos had no choice but to reinforce the position quickly, and Payton made sure to bring in someone who fits his vision for this offense. Many believe Michael Burton's situation is playing out the same way it did last year. And that's exactly why the addition of Prentice could be massive for Denver. He's not just a temporary replacement, he's a natural fit for Sean Payton's system, and there's every reason to believe he'll carry the load during those opening weeks. Remember, the Broncos once cut Burton, stashed him on the practice squad, and later brought him back. We could see a similar scenario again, Burton starting the season on short-term IR while Prentice steps in to handle the job. And here's why Prentice makes so much sense. Physically, he mirrors Burton, just younger and fresher. Burton stands 5'11", 240 pounds, but at 33 years old, his durability is a question. Prentice, at 6'0", 245 pounds, is a 28-year-old battering ram ready to explode through defenders. He's built for the grind. This is a player who's already proven he can lead block at the highest level. We've seen him pave the way for stars like Alvin Kamara in New Orleans, and now imagine him doing the same in Denver, opening lanes for a hard-charging back like R.J. Harvey. That's the kind of physical edge this offense has been missing. But Prentice brings more than brute strength. He's versatile. He can handle short yardage carries, just like the Broncos used Burton near the goal line. Need a tough yard on 3rd and 1? That's where Prentice can punish defenses. And beyond running, he can line up in multiple spots, deliver crushing blocks, and even step up in pass protection. This isn't just a depth move. This is a piece Sean Payton can weaponize in multiple ways, a fullback who brings back an old-school toughness that fits perfectly with what Denver is building. Prentice isn't just a bruiser, he's got surprising athleticism for a fullback. He's shown flashes of being more than just a blocker. In New Orleans, he could stay in for pass protection and then slip out for a quick fullback draw, picking up yards when defenses least expected it. Against Tampa Bay, he did exactly that, proving he has the ability to contribute in multiple ways. Go back even further to his college days. After transferring from Colorado State to South Carolina, Prentice showed he could make plays in space. He'd motion across the formation, haul in passes, and turn upfield with speed. That kind of versatility is rare for a fullback, and it's exactly why Sean Payton has always valued him. Now with Michael Burton sidelined by a hamstring injury, an issue that's even harder to overcome at age 33, Prentice becomes the perfect addition at the perfect time. Very rarely this late in the preseason do you find a player capable of stepping right in and contributing by week 1. Yet here he is, a familiar weapon in Payton's system, ready to help Denver immediately. Mark it down. Prentice is a strong candidate not only to make the 53-man roster, but to start against the Titans in Week 1. That's how much trust Payton has in his ability. Meanwhile, over in Las Vegas, the Raiders are busy celebrating mediocrity. Rookie running back Ashton Jenney managed just 4 yards per carry in the preseason, and somehow that was enough for him to declare after the game, "I've arrived." He compared himself to Patrick Mahomes as if he's already a superstar. That's the difference between the Raiders and the Broncos. While Denver keeps working, staying humble, and preparing for the real battle ahead, Las Vegas is caught up in preseason illusions. It's wild to me that after one preseason game against backups no less, a player like Ashton Jeanty is already claiming, "I've arrived." That kind of mindset is exactly what separates the Raiders from the Broncos. While Jeanty is busy celebrating mediocrity, Denver's young players are showing maturity and focus beyond their years. Take wide receiver Pat Bryant, for example. He outshined Jeanty with ease in his debut. 4 targets, 3 receptions, nearly 70 yards, that's production that actually matters. And yet in his post-game press conference, Bryant wasn't talking about how he had arrived. He was smiling ear to ear, but his words were humble and hungry. He made it clear this is just the beginning, just the foundation of what this offense can become. That's the difference. Bryant understands that one preseason game isn't a finish line, it's a starting point. And what stood out even more was how Bryant already complements this offense in ways Denver has been missing. With rookie quarterback Bo Nix known for his scrambling ability, the Broncos have desperately needed a receiver who instinctively works back to the ball when the play breaks down. Bryant showcased that skill immediately. On a scramble drill, he adjusted, came back for the ball, and turned a broken play into a positive gain. That's awareness. That's chemistry. That's a weapon this offense has been lacking. If this is what Pat Bryant can do in his very first preseason game, imagine what's coming when he and Bo Nix fully develop their connection. This is the kind of growth that gets Broncos country fired up. When the Broncos drafted Pat Bryant in the 6th round, some people laughed it off. But then came the comparisons, and not just from fans. Former Broncos receiver Benny Fowler pointed out that Sean Payton is already using Bryant in ways that look strikingly similar to how he once used Michael Thomas in New Orleans. And it shows. Bryant has that same ability to find soft spots in coverage, sit down in a zone, and make himself available for his quarterback. He's not out here bragging or declaring he's arrived like Ashton Jeanty. Instead, he's quietly putting in the work and already flashing traits that remind people of one of the league's best receivers under Payton. But Bryant wasn't the only young Bronco turning heads. Running back R.J. Harvey answered a lot of critics in his preseason debut. Some doubters said all he could do was bounce runs outside. But on his touchdown, he proved them wrong. He didn't take it to the edge. He hit a narrow gap up the middle, squeezed through, and showed the vision and toughness that translates against first-team defenses. And even after finding the end zone, Harvey's mindset was pure humility. He said he wouldn't celebrate until he breaks one from 60 yards out. That's the mentality you want, not satisfied, always hungry for more. Behind a powerful offensive line led by Quinn Miners, Harvey's ability to hit those small openings and fight through traffic is going to carry over when the starters are on the field. This wasn't just a preseason highlight, it was a glimpse of a young running back built for the real grind of the NFL. R.J. Harvey's ability to squeeze through impossible gaps, holes so small you'd think no one could fit, is exactly the kind of skill that will matter when the real bullets start flying in just a couple of weeks. And he wasn't the only young Bronco who impressed. Jonah Elliss was a force of nature on defense. On one play, he fought through not 1, not 2, but 3 blockers. A tight end tried to chip him, no chance. An offensive lineman pulled over to slow him down, didn't matter. Elliss blew past all of them and still managed to drop the running back for a loss in the backfield. That's relentless effort. That's a young pass rusher who refuses to be denied. And the beauty of it, Elliss isn't talking about arriving. He's not puffing out his chest after one preseason game. Instead, in his post-game press conference, he admitted he usually goes to bed at 9 o'clock and had to hype himself up just to play under the lights. That's humility, that's focus. And it's the exact opposite of the Raiders' Ashton Jeanty, who acted like he hit the pinnacle of his career after one decent outing. With Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito leading the charge, Elliss adds another dangerous weapon to Denver's pass rush rotation. Add in strong performances from Dondra Tillman and Q Robinson, and suddenly the Broncos' edge depth looks deeper than it has in years. And let's not forget special teams. Wide receiver Courtney Jackson is making a serious push for the 53-man roster as a punt returner. His speed, quickness, and reliability could give Denver a spark in the return game they've been missing. Courtney Jackson isn't just flashing as a punt returner, he's proving he can be a true weapon. In one game, he racked up 32 receiving yards, 30 more on an end around, and 43 yards on a punt return. That kind of versatility screams playmaker. Special teams coordinator Mike Westhoff is going to love scheming ways to use him. And the best part? His emergence takes pressure off Marvin Mims, freeing him to focus fully on becoming the breakout wide receiver Denver needs this season. Because make no mistake, Marvin Mims isn't just a returner. He's a legitimate wideout with WR2 upside in Sean Payton's offense, and keeping him fresh for that role could be the key to unlocking his potential. And the production from this young group is something Broncos country hasn't seen in years. Look at the preseason under Payton so far. Troy Franklin hauling in 2 touchdowns and over 60 yards, Pat Bryant putting up nearly 70, and even a tight end like Evan Engram exploding for 53 yards on a single catch. That one play alone was nearly a quarter of what Denver's tight ends gave them all of last season. To put it in perspective, think back to recent years. When the Broncos dominated the Packers 27-2, their leading receiver had just 30 yards. Against the Colts, Courtland Sutton led the way with only 35. That's how rare this level of offensive firepower is for Denver in the preseason. This isn't empty hype. This is a young roster showing flashes of real potential, and it's happening under Sean Payton's watch. The days of lifeless preseason box scores are gone. These Broncos are different. This is exactly why Sean Payton told the national media that this Broncos team has the potential to be one of the best 6 squads he's ever coached, a group capable of chasing a Super Bowl. What Denver is doing right now isn't normal. It's not just preseason hype. They've been proving it in joint practices, in training camp, and now under the lights. Take Bo Nix, for example. Against Arizona's highly praised secondary, a unit analysts across the league rave about, he delivered the best practice of his career, carving them up snap after snap. That wasn't luck. That was a rookie quarterback making a statement against a real NFL defense. And while chaos swirls around the rest of the league, the Broncos are steady. Across the NFL, stars are holding out, teams are locked in contract battles, and multiple franchises still don't even know who their starting quarterback will be. But in Denver, it's different. Nick Bonito had foot surgery and is already back to work. No holdouts, no distractions. Zach Allen could have pushed for more, but he's all in with Denver. Courtland Sutton could have played the waiting game like Terry McLaurin, but he chose loyalty. That's the culture Sean Payton is building: commitment, hunger, and unity. Meanwhile, some teams can't even decide on their quarterback, while Denver's backup, Jarrett Stidham, would probably start for half the league, including places like Miami or Minnesota. That's the depth this roster has built. And unlike other franchises paying aging, injury-prone quarterbacks massive contracts, Denver has a young, fearless leader in Bo Nix, locked in for the next 4 years on a rookie deal. That stability is priceless. So clear your calendars. Clear January. Clear the first week of February. Because this team isn't just playing football, they're building something that can last, something that can make a deep playoff run. The Denver Broncos are back, and this time it feels real.